Alrighty, we're gonna pick up kind of back down here in this corner where we left off. This is the middle of the driveway back. Picking up here because I realized there were some things over here I didn't show you. And I am standing where the big log was. We've gotten it cleaned up and it's right there and on there. So back down here. Just a little bit here, we're gonna get that camper. We'll go through there and get it parked here. Alright, but the couple of things I wanted to show you down here I didn't get to. Here was those two dogwoods that I said I wanted to put the rabbits under. I've left this cedar tree here. These two dogwoods is where we want to put a bench. Here's some of the irises. They don't look as good. They kind of get forgot about as the watering compared to the others up there. The sign. That's how I'm going to do the fence post. And this will get moved. On some of my posts you'll see at time, back when I was at McLean, I was doing a lot more snuff. So so I saved all the metal lids to put on my posts and things so that they wouldn't rot as much. Alright, we're back over here in this corner where Piper was and all. I gotta take this tree right here out, about hollow. And I'm probably gonna take that one out right there in the woods before it gets crazy. There's also a great big grapevine on it. There's that dead one I said I'm going to drop back over in the woods in the little blackberry patch area. But this is the junk tree. We found different things in there and we painted it around that old trailer and just different things. Got an ashtray, an old shovel. We got a few more things we haven't painted yet to put on there. I think this soup spoon, a couple of them was ones that accidentally got put in the trash that got burnt in the burn barrel. And we also have bird feeder number 7, I think. Anyway. And I had showed you Jewel and Flint's, and I left Dudes out. There's Dudes. He ain't looking us behind today. And there's Julie. And Flint. Yeah. Alright. So this was a little watermelon patch at one point in the armadillos. And then it became our worm farm, and the armadillos I think have now eaten all our worms. But I'm also getting all the armadillos. Alright, so we'll ease back up here, up this direction, and show you the other half like I promised. Another thing I wanted to show you was the amount of lights. I was talking about the bird feeders, but all these lights on these trees I have. Just on this side, there's this one. There's one down there behind Jewel on that tree. There's those two. There is that one. And then there's one back there on that tree. Like I say, that's just from the driveway over this way. So if anything moves out here, we kind of know about it. Unless they real low. There's the Hummer Grandma. I don't know if we counted this one earlier or not. Oh, and on this wood, there's the 2x6s. I have already screwed them together and burned them for the seesaw. It's going to be a big seesaw. The grown-ups can ride it. So anyway, back out here is where I first came in on that original video in the woods. And the camper has set right here in between the road and that trailer. So he's back up here. I finally got my numbers on my mailbox. And so I moved my wooden 603 until later. That's another project I'm working on. There's another motion light. Another motion light and a feeder. Kim's birthday bird bath. And that original stack of wood, fixing to go through a lot of that. And that will be used on Ben's, a lot of it will be used on Ben's TP. A lot of it will just be burnt. That's old thin stuff. And there's Annabelle's swing. And when we built it, with these little, we had to haul in some dirt from over there. And we built these little walls, and we have grapevine here, which will grow up and over. And there's another motion light. So it's dark out here, but ain't nothing around here. And then we just put some there just to hold in all that dirt we made. And then there's Ben's TP, which is down here at this end of this trailer. This is something we just recently did. We cut out one tree in there and some of the smaller stuff and got some of our poles. And we're gonna come in and like put some of the smaller strips of wood and just kind of fill it in so it's slatted. And this will be a door, and on that side will be a door to go in. And there's another bird feeder, and he wanted this spot because of the he had piled these rocks up. This is one of the first piles, and we got to cut these grapevines down because we will run them to his teepee, and there's some more back over in the back corner, and let them run the teepee to cover it in more. I forgot to show you where this right here is where our burn barrel was, and then my trash barrels were sitting up across the back of there and then over to there. I kind of had them L-shaped in there. And soon we'll be getting started on right over here. We'll take that one little tree out, and this is where John's fort will go. A 4-post fort. But where this burn barrel was sitting for all this time is where I'm gonna put that seesaw right through here. So it'll be right here amongst their little area. I'm gonna turn around and go back up. And right here is where Kim's Hummer has sat for the last year and a half. This is where she has parked. It'll just be open now. And we've cleared out a lot of stuff from around the camper because we're moving it today. I'll show you what that looks like here in just a little bit. But a lot of and there's the old trailer. Got most of the wall. Well, the walls are all pretty much burnt, and about half of that roof. the wood. There won't be that much to actually haul off. This is the griddle right now, and up under there is how we do all the water, the bathing water, this dish water. We boil it on like a fish fryer, Grandma. It's a turkey fryer, but so that's what that propane tank, and then that'll all go in the outdoor kitchen up under the awning. Is when we get it up. When we get the camper moved, this will probably go up against the camper kinda over there. That little picnic table has been useful because it has moved all over the property as I worked. It's kind of been like a little rest station, keep my drink and stuff. But there's Ben's teepee, swing. And so, let me get back. I'm gonna kind of walk around this way and explain this. So now I'm back at the main driveway, which we had the guy bulldoze in and cut in. So that driveway will be able to come down and turn in here, or be able to turn that way and go up the main driveway back here. But for right now, that's where the camper is going to be till we push on for the youngins and stuff. All right. So this is all our stuff that was under that old tent outdoor kitchen we had. With the exception of that little black table. That little black table stays up against the camper. And this grill smoker, it sat where that griddle's sitting for like, I don't know, year and a half, something like that. And then these, Grandma, kind of excited to show you these. When I was working at the sawmill at the Plains, these were sitting outside, and they were getting ready to throw them away, and I said I wanted them. All I need is 2 booths, so it'll be just double. I have that one still there too, and I'm gonna make a tabletop, and it'll be cut in half so that we can just slide them together or separate them if we need to. But they're in really good shape, everything except that old tabletop that was on it, and I've already gotten that gone. And what I did was I saved the bottom of old Coke bottles, and so that I could keep them elevated up off of the ground. And I did that for all the legs. And that way too, when we do get it in a permanent spot and they sit up under that permanent spot, that'll sit good in the gravel and still keep it open. But anyway, I thought that was neat. So that'll be our outside area, and that awning will go right here. This is cool. This is that tree that worried me for 2 years. That's why this cup's on the top of it, this picture. Kim and them found that down the road, where they were tearing down that old trailer and barn and stuff, and brought it back down here. And no sooner than they brought it back down here, it started falling apart. And so the other day, while I was doing other concrete work, I just filled it up with concrete, hoping it didn't fall apart. It'll hold it together some. Spray painted it copper, and I know y'all don't know. I drink ocean water from Sonic, which is like blue coconut and Sprite, and so it looks like that. That's my victory cup over this tree that has kept me in worry. Alright, so some of this used to be over there where that picnic table was, under that original tent type outdoor kitchen we had. We washed dishes in there, the griddle was in there, that picnic table was in there, and then since that thing got took down and all, like, we've washed dishes right up against the trailer right here, and I'll explain our water process here in a minute. But right here where I temporarily have these tanks because we're moving all this stuff, for years I had metal on these two trees, and I had like a fault side here that was screwed, and the pallets there with rubber mat, and we had this old canvas outdoor shower that we had from traveling, and that was there to begin with, and then it started tearing up, so I just took it down, and this is where our water barrels have set, and the one that actually has the valving on it had set right here for 2 years, I guess now. There's another bird feeder. And this is where I moved this wooden sign to. And so anyway, our awning will be over this stuff right here, all the way out to here. It's 12 by 20, so it'll cover this whole little area right here. And this is where that driveway split, and then back on up into there. So the awning will be from here to there. Like I said, it's 12 foot wide by 20 foot long, and we'll have extra room. That griddle will be under there too, and the camper will be right here, and my truck will park right here in that driveway, and Kim will either be here somewhere in this driveway or right there for now, probably right about here, to be honest. And you see the stump to that other big old tree that I cut, and it fell out across there. I got it quartered and one piece down. I got to get the rest of it. I'll get this whole thing down. And there was actually 2 old dead ones here at one point, and I've gotten them down. There's one. Well, actually that one fell, but I got the rest of it. And then this one I cut and put it across. We've had a lot of fire from where I cleared all this, and most of these trees right in this area, all these, like this one, some of those, will be taken out at some point, because this is where we're gonna put the trailer frame to build on top of. So after I get all this mess out of here and the trees situated and down, we'll have this trailer frame put in here at an angle and then build on top of it. I want it to face, so the trailer will sit right across. Let me back up. Here's Kim's Hummer, which is middle in between the 2 cedar trees. And the trailer will kind of face where the Hummer is now. It's enough! So it'll sit right there eventually. And what we're going to do is put a metal building on top of this metal frame. So, and then I'll finish it out. Alright, I said I'd explain our water, what we do. There's also 2 more buckets that are down at the dog kennels. We keep 2 buckets down there for them. So what we have is these barrels. I have a full barrel up under all 3 of these barrels. Then I have this barrel, which I have put this valve on. Valves work very well on a gravity type situation. A knob does not work. It trickles out and all, but this barrel's about full. There's no barrel in this one. This one just sits on top. Just sits on top of this empty barrel. Give us some elevation, and these barrels, I know they're at least 30 gallons. I want to say they're 33 to 35. So just in barrels, I have 30, 60, 90, 120 gallons of water just in those. Alright, and I'll demonstrate my valve. Just cuts the water onto it. And then that's all there is to it. We fill the barrel back up with the buckets, and I have a smaller bucket like that one. We don't use that one. Let me fix that so that let's try and aim a little better. That's like me when I try and get up and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. That's a little bit right. But anyway, so we refill that out of the barrel. We rotate, and then these buckets is where we get the water in, and I'll carry that and fill it up. That actually holds about 7 gallons, whereas these hold 5. So you have the 120 here in the barrels, and then you at least 120, and I think it's more. And then you got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, plus the 2 at the dog kennel. That's 140, and then I'm still going to call that 5. So that's 145 gallons just in water that we can keep here. And then I'll get a bigger tank at some point. There's 2 more feeders that ain't even in a tree. They're getting cleaned and filled. Alright, so bath water, dish water, it all comes from right here. This is our boiling pot and dish pot at the moment, but I'll have a sink type thing coming. I already have a wash tub, but if we wash dishes every day, we don't need that big so I'll use that for something. And we have a sink over there. I'll show you in a few minutes. So anyway, we put the water in there, whatever we're using. This is pre-boiled water that we just use for rinsing and washing hands and things like that. All the soap and dishwater. Like I say, we'll boil the water and wash dishes in that, and then rinse it and take them in the house. And as far as bathing, we've had different things at different times. At one point, the shower was still, but all that messed up on a freezing. So really, what we do is we take gallon jugs, and we get the water to whatever we want it to, between the boiled and the hot and the regular, because we'll bathe in the creek. It's not a big deal, but we'll take the boiled water and the creek water, at least 2 gallons, maybe more if you need it, into the shower with you, wash and rinse. A lot of times, if it's not cold, Anna and Kim will wash their hair out here. I can get some type of, we've got other things working on, pumps and things coming. That's why I'm trying to get the outdoor shower going and stuff. Alright, so we're going to go back up this way. And we'll come back around that back. Show you what it's looking like from up here. Alright, first driveway. Grapevines all over the place. Remember, I got working on my fencing and stuff. And then now over here there'll be post rundown with vines and all that too. Everything is cleared. There's that swing. And I know I said it was raining the other day, but it didn't rain much. It rained for about 10 minutes, and it's not like it was raining. Well, as soon as it gets to raining, I'll get back to burning. This was Ben's original can spot. That was his original can crusher. And where his new one was. But I'll show you where all that is now. And those tornadoes and all that bad weather in the spring, I had already kind of tore some of this down. And then really all that wind did was flip this roof up. And it wasn't where it is now. I pulled that on over. But it helped me more than it hurt me. Here's a fun little stack. Oh, so basically what I'm going to end up doing is taking this trailer from where it sits now, kind of parallel to the road, and just turn it just a little bit so that it faces back up going out of that drive, the main drive, and it'll sit in here at kind of an angle. And there's Ben's TV right here at the end. Seesaw, swing, forward. And here's all. This is all stuff I'm keeping with the exception of this bed frame. This is really just keeping stuff weighted down. Check this stuff out, mama. This will be for our bathroom. Have that. That's the same thing. This is the plate that was on the front of it, which matches. It's all the same color. I have some extra shutters, which I'm stealing 2 to go on the outdoor shower. Oh, I also have, let's see, I haven't dug it out yet, but if we ever get that far, look at that. Matching throne. Anyway, but most of this here is stuff I can reuse. Some of the metal, whether it's chicken coops or just anything. Use decent pieces of metal, whether it's tops to bird houses that I can sell or keep or whatever, or anything I can kind of build. I built the cat kennel out of this stuff. I'll show it to you in a minute. This was a lid that was here when we got here. That little bitty barrel there was a barrel that was here, and that was the original burn barrel. Here was the kitchen sink out of here, and this will be the outdoor kitchen sink. And then I've got more burning going. All this is what we really got to this summer, was me coming in here and clearing this out. I forgot, I'll tell you about that when I go back up that side. So, most of this, oh well, all these trees right here are coming out. That one. that one, these two, that one, which that one's dead. This bow hump thing here, this one, this one, this one, and of course all these. And then maybe after that we'll move the outdoor kitchen after I get this situated. And that's all poison ivy. This is its last stand. This is what it's trying to hold on to, but it's fixing to go down just like the rest of it did. But maybe after we can get this frame, these trees, and it cleared out of here, we can put the outdoor kitchen right up behind the building we put, or the frame, or whatever, so the outdoor kitchen will butt up to the back of it, and then I can close it in. And currently, this is where the trash comes to. Oh, and along the way, and there may be random rocks. These are little cedar trees that are around the way that I'm trying not to tear up. There's one right there. Because secretly, between us and the neighbors, we've been going along in the spring. We'll dig them up. And we'll plant them in here, spaced out just a little ways, trying to cover this off so that eventually, because even in the winter they're evergreen and it'll block a lot of that off, which isn't terrible. It's just privacy to some degree. And then we'll do that on the same side over there, but we don't have nobody over there now, so we're not too worried about that. Its time will come. Alright, our trash system should look a little bit familiar to y'all. The lids are all pieces of metal I've cut off and used. So this is the actual burn barrel. Ever seen one of those before? I have my poking rods, short and long. This is Ben's can barrel. This barrel is stuff we cannot burn nor use for anything. And once that bag, I'll take it to town, and it may not be the best thing in the world, but it'll go in a convenience store, trash bin, or a Dollar General, or something like that. It's going to the dump. It ain't getting thrown out nowhere. We have our 4 regular trash bins. Stuff waiting to be burned, or a place to hold it until we do burn it. And then I have this guy. This guy here is different wood and paper to help me burn the trash, and it all goes to ash. The wood keeps the fire burning instead of just sitting there smoldering forever. And then, like, there's literally nothing left when I get through. It's an incinerator. It gets through burning, it's ash. I take it down there to the low point behind there and dump it out. So burn barrel, burning supplies, 4 trash barrels, trash that has to go to town, and Ben's cans. There's another cedar tree, and there's one back there waiting to be moved. And then, so like I said, the building will sit across here, and hopefully the outdoor kitchen at some point. And then there's that. Oh, and I do plan on covering this. Some of my logs and stuff, I'll burn some posts and we'll cover it so that my lids ain't necessarily needed, and we can put bin stuff up under it. It ain't got to be nothing great big, but it'll be right here. And then here is a wild plum tree. They do make. And we do eat them given the opportunity. On the ground. I'm smelling dead armadillos. I don't know if some of the red tips are dying back. That's one I had planted. It lasted all season, so I'm convinced they rooted, which was this one. And then there was this one. And then there's one right over here. That's the one I think may have died, but I'm not sure. If not, that's great. I'll still move that one back here and put it on a line with these others. So there'll be really pretty purple row back here blocking us from the woods. There's more grapevine. And like I said, there'll be defensive type deal. And this runs back right along. Remember, right across the driveway. And right back over there in that corner, which is the blackberry patch in the garden. And then the dog kennels. And back up the other side. And the trailer frame will sit right here. And the outdoor kitchen. Let's go up to a different view from a different angle. We'll come down. Come back this way. Motion lights. Oh, I was supposed to kick. I'll show it to you. And then all this junk that I gotta burn. So again, just kind of that trailer will sit right across here with that pile or somewhere close to it. Nothing crazy. There's Betty. Hey, Betty. Alright. Now these sheds used to sit right here in the middle of this driveway, side by side, facing the road when we first got them. Actually, the first shed we had was this gray one. I'm sorry, I'm whipping the camera around. The first shed was this gray one when we first got here. First week we went and got it. And it sat right in here so that the generator could sit in it and we could run the cord. And then when we got the second one, they moved out here side by side, facing the road. And then when I got ready to do this, to get ready to move the camper and all, we had to put it somewhere. So it got put back here. Don't know what'll be here, what'll stay. This may have these two barrels and this old door off this trailer, which is a workbench to some degree. The roof was getting a little ragged, especially on this one, the oldest one. So I had this tarp I had. That was going to originally be a teepee tarp we bought in North Carolina. But it's thick and it's nice. So I had this going on. This will get us through the winter. And Might just metal this whole thing together like this at some point, or it may be two separate sheds that I make metal, and I'll do them on concrete pads and all that. That's concrete work that I'm using for other things, and that's fence posts and different things. I'll show it to you. That project after we get it done. So all the plants and all. That's a pallet and an old rubber mat. That was the rubber mat for the outdoor shower, but just different things. Strawberries. And this dogwood. Other than a log that's set right here across this back part that's going to be the driveway. And the kids used to come back to that log and sit and shoot BB guns. This dogwood, they used to come back here and climb on it and climb on it, and I'm surprised it was already like this, but trying to somewhat save it, it was already just like this. In fact, I just cut dead stuff out of it when he could. When it was wet enough, Ben was bringing dirt back, and we're going to try and pack it down. And I even took this old fork and burned it and kind of concreted it and rocked it in. Try and save it some. And we put the cats right here beside it. There's Smoke. What's up, Smoke? I don't know if you've seen this thing very well, Grandma. So, I have a cat house right there, and a deck. Come out, come down. There's just a board for them to crawl on, and then down here, there's one for them to lay on. Everything is blocked in. There's dirt in there. I even got a lizard back scratcher. I had a back scratcher, it broke. So everything's rocked in. And all this metal, all the tan metal was off of that, and I bought some paint and painted it. It was specifically for this, made to paint this metal. But the screws I had was for the roofing, but it all looks good. This is our paint scheme. This is more like what the house will look like and stuff. Tan, red roof. That's the only part, so that if it rains, they can still kind of sit outside. You can't come out. That's just kind of what the outside looks. And then there's the actual inside in there. They're safe and warm and dry. Friggin' cat litter. Oh. That's what the back looks like. It looks leany, but that's just because of the poles. Because I'm using raw wood out of the woods. It ain't lumber. I did frame it with 2x4s and stuff, but then I have this one. So that. What's up, Smoke? What's up, Smoke? Get back in there. I also have this Care Bear toy. It hangs in there and plays and swings. And some solar lights. And the sign that'll eventually go to the chicken coop. Alright, let me take you to my little, oh, another light. Everything under this blue tarp And over my head is wood. Good wood. It's small pieces and different things, but I would use it. It's what I use to make the dog houses. It's what I use to make the cat house inside, flooring, everything inside there. I would use it to make the dining room table on the booths. Anything like that. But you see, this thing's 10 by 10. That thing's not far from it itself. So, this wheelbarrow, McLean was fixing to throw it out. The handle was broken, it had a flat tire. I went and bought 2 handles and 2 2 tires that won't go flat. It's like a $400 wheelbarrow. I paid like 60 bucks in parts. And then we had the smaller wheelbarrow. Let's see, the trailer will sit. I keep calling it a trailer. It'll be a metal building on that frame. But it'll basically kind of sit in between this tree and that tree. And then that puts us back over here to the main driveway. And there's that other red, the first red bud, red tip, whatever, that I dug up. It done really well this year. It had been mowed over I don't know how many years out there by the road until we put up the sign saying please don't mow, and then I got it up. All these buckets, the awnings up under here, and the extra metal, and all these buckets were from McLean. They just throw them away all the time. They are oil came in them, and they used to use it in the tractor. I don't know when that fell off. It was up on the side. I'll get it in a minute. And we had to keep so much. I just stuck our hay in here with the youngins till we need it. And I figured I'd use it for concrete. Like that's what all our stuff will be attached to, is round concrete. And that's about it, Grandma, Mama. I don't know what else to show y'all. But I will come back to you here in a little bit and show you what it looks like now when the camper is moved, coming to this location here in just a few minutes. Show you what it looks like from out here and cut it off there. Golly, this one went even longer. This is gonna take forever to download. But anyway, we're going from there to there.